Hey guys, it's Ramon again. We're gonna go over part two of Xactimate training. This time we're gonna talk about preferences. Preferences is usually preferences is already completed for you by the insurance carrier. You're with the insurance company, working with the insurance company, and you don't really have to do anything, but just basically change the price list, which you could do inside the estimate itself. But there's some just a couple of little nuanced things that you can use preferences for. But we're gonna go over it just in case because I feel like it's better to know too much and not need it than to know too little and to need it. So we're gonna just go and review everything in the preferences section. We're gonna talk about the general, project, the pricing, the sketch, and the third party section just a little bit, and give you some good information there that you could apply when you really need it in the field or doing your estimates and your contracts. So with no further ado, let's hop right into it. Okay, so this is the Xactimate area. We're back in local, and we're going to go right here to preferences. We're going to start with general. So this is where you put your signature in. You could either import a photo of your signature or you could draw your signature right here. Um, Never had to do this in the field. No carriers access to do this. So this is something that you can use generally, but I've never used it in my career. Project view. This is showing how you want the name to be displayed in the local or in the cloud. So for example, right now it's checked as project name and insured name. So if you go here, you'll see the project name and the insured's name is together. But if you go back to preferences, you can just have it show the project name, and if you go back to local, it's just a project name is showing. You go to preferences, you can have it show the insured name only, and you go back to local, it's showing the insured's name only, no project name. Go back to preferences. If you want to show both, right now it's showing they're combined in one column, which is right here. They're combined. But if you go back to preferences, you could separate the columns, and this is what it will look like. So project name, insurance name, claim number over here. Now let's go back to preferences. The job type, most companies don't usually use, and then the user, this is for the cloud. So the user, so I'll just highlight so I can show you guys real quick. And if you go into the cloud, all projects, you'll see the job type and you see the user right here. But if you go into local, it doesn't show the user on the local because user is for cloud only. But this part is usually set up for you and is usually separated, is how you'll see it with most insurance carriers. Autosave, you could turn it on. 0 means that there's no autosave at all, or you could put it for 1 minute. I like it to be at 1 minute. Every minute the project saves, just in case something happens, it will automatically save for me. The image quality in the report, the single compress is high quality images. It makes the file a lot larger. The double compression is a lower quality image. It makes the file a lot smaller, but we usually use the double compression. In the past, most before they added this to Xactimate many years ago, most adjusters and contractors would have to compress the images that they're going to put in the file themselves, because some images can be like 5, 10, 15, 20 megabytes or more. So this lowers the megabytes of the images so the file won't be so huge. So let me show you, for example, if I go here, desktop, mobile. See, this is an image report, right? Photo report, 14 kilobytes, but you can see the images are 4 kilobytes. This is 5, 5, 4, 4. So this photo report has far more photos than these 5 photos in here, but it's compressed to show 14 kilobytes, while right here, if all 4 of these would have been in this report at the same size, it would be about 5, 10, over 20, which is going to be larger than this, which has about 30, 40 photos inside of it. So that's why you need to compress the photos. Quick editing mode. This is pretty simple stuff. It's not really game-changing stuff right here. Insert mode: when editing an existing line item in quick entry panel, accepting the changes, then adds and select a blank row below the edited item. So what that's pretty much referring to is, if we go into this, let's say right here. So if we add an item here, and then let's say we add this line item, paint, then right after it, we'll just select this row. Or if we were to go here with that, after we're done, it will just automatically go down here. That's what this is saying in preferences right here. Insert row goes to the blank row. Edit row, it just goes to the next selected item. So if we were here with edit mode, it will just go down 1. But insert goes all the way down to the bottom. So it just depends on how you want to run it. It really doesn't make that big of a difference. Open project in full screen, that's fine. You usually want to keep that on. I've never used this before. Don't show deleted all price list prompts. Don't show download all cities prompts. Never had to use that before. Let's go to projects. This is just simplified stuff to make what this does is it just automatically pre-fills the Xactimate report when you're doing it. So if you go to claim rep, you can put your name in. The references is usually the insurance company. If you're dealing with one contractor, then you put that in. Then you put your company's header, the opening statement, which they'll provide for you, the closing statement. Most insurance companies have a catastrophic code. You can put that there. Inspection not performed. You pretty much want to perform the inspection, and then it's asking you for the city, state, postal code, date of loss, and the CAT code. This is when you're doing estimates for a very specific or localized place. Like I was in a city in Mississippi, and it's just a really small town, so all of that information right here would apply. But when you're going in between cities, you might, and you're working with different insurance companies, if you're a contractor, you'll probably just leave this section alone and add that information into the estimate itself. For example, let's open this up. So this is where you'll put all the information in. What putting all that information in preferences do is just automatically uploads it into this section for you if you're doing like a mass amount of estimates. So you don't really have to worry about doing that. See, company name, opening statement, closing statement, there's That's what we're looking at in the preference section. All right. Resequencing line items is very, very, very important. A lot of times, especially if you're an adjuster, you submit a report estimate and you don't put the line items in correctly, or it's not resequences, it will show in incorrect order. So for example, let's go here. So right here, the line items are in correct order. So 166, 163, 164, 165. But if you go down here, you'll see it keeps going 218, 221. So these are the line items number. But as you can see, this area is blank. So if I was to add any line items in this spot, it will still go to 200. So see 246, because the last item that we put in $246. How did I get to 246? So let's resequence it and see what happens. Do you want to resequence? So this is the prompt that it's going to show you. Right here, resequence line items number, prompt on complete, prompt on print. So when I went to the claim, and I go to documents and I'm about to print it. Let's close this. So I was gonna print it. This is where you go to documents, to report, to print it. It's gonna ask you, because you already checked those boxes, you want to resequence the line items, you press yes. Now you go back to estimate items, go here, and it's been resequenced 172. So the last one before 171, 172, and then the next set of items 173. So now it's in order again. This is very important. Your projects will be kicked back by your manager with your insurance company if you're not resequencing it. You could also resequence it in the claim, but because this is so small, when it's done, you kind of forget to click this before you click your report. So it's best to just have it automatically prompted for you. Let's see. Tags, never usually use tags in the estimate, so we're not going to worry about that. This is the price list. You're going to be using this a lot. So you want to, if you're switching zip codes all the time, you might want to go to get a different price list, or to see if the price list matches. So we're in Atlanta, but if I had to go to do a claim in Savannah, that's a different jurisdiction, so we have to go look it up. So let's see, Savannah, Georgia, city, Georgia, Savannah, right there. Download. And that's the new price list. So you put done. And now we have to get the tax jurisdiction. This is how they apply taxes to each item. So it's usually 9 times out of 10, 95%, 99% is going to be the first one, or your manager will tell you which one to use during the deployment. Recoverable depreciation and non-recoverable depreciation. That's also good. Most contractors don't use this, but with insurance companies, it depends on the item in the policy. It's going to tell you what items are recoverable and what items are non-recoverable. So what that means is that if the total estimate is $10,000, we have to depreciate the property, all the items, by the age of each item. So if we're doing a roof and the roof is $10,000, but the roof is 10 years old, then we're going to put recoverable depreciation, and we're going to put the age and condition of the roof, and we do that inside the actual claim itself. But this is just giving it a prompt to do it. I like to use age and condition, so as most insurance carriers, but you don't have to worry about that. Overhead and profit, this is for contractors. This is how most contractors, you try to get more money, because each line item also covers the labor. It's included in each line item, but most insurance companies won't approve overhead and profit unless it's what's called a complex job, where it requires lots of coordination. So if you're in roofing and you put overhead and profit and you're just placing the roof, it's more likely going to be declined. We don't have to worry about payment tracker, calculations options. The insurance companies will go over that with you. But if you're a contractor, you do want to click apply labor minimums. It's just simpler to do it that way. That's a very complicated thing. Don't worry about additional charges as well. So sketch, this field impacts this area of the estimate, sketching estimate. Alright, so you see there's no grids, there's no graph on this one. But let's say the view default, I wanted to show a grid or graph. These are all the default views for the sketch area. So you'll go there, go to local, new projects, create. Go to sketch. Now you see the grid. It just depends on your preferences, how you want to use this in the sketch area. Let's go here, preferences. So you can play around with these to see how you want your sketch area to be viewed. You usually just use the default settings. Up here, editing, small rotation, 45-degree rotation. Small hand display, this all refers again to the sketching area. So 45-degree rotation, this usually rotates in 45 degrees. See, automatically 45, we can have it 22, just like right here, 22, 90, free rotate. Most of these things you don't really have to change. It's not going to make a big difference. Door size, this is all about the size of the door. This is for just the default door settings. Custom staircase, we don't really estimate a lot of staircases in the industry, but that's the default width. The risers, calculations, the insurance companies will give you all these numbers. You don't really have to focus on these too much. Wall opening, deductions, don't really have to worry about all that. It doesn't really make a huge impact on the estimate. And then third party, I've never used these ever. So we're not going to worry about these right now. And I've never seen any of these companies on any estimates from contractors or roofers before. So that's about it for the preference area. We're going to go on the next one. We're going to go inside the estimate themselves. We're going to focus on, get this thing loaded. I'll show you what that means at a later time. We're going to focus on claim information and how to put this stuff in. It's a pretty fast and simple part of the Xactimate. Pretty much the most straightforward part. This is just data entry right here. So until next time, you guys have a wonderful day.